Welcome back, everyone, to the second round of the Second Century Classic. We are on chase card for round two. I believe 4 back of the lead at this time. We are starting on hole 2, and game plan has not changed much for this course going into round 2. Throwing the same S-Line P3X that I got on this day, and just leave it a little bit low on the Anheuser line, and it gets caught up by that little tree right there. So we're going to have a straddle putt from there, and honestly, looking back on this, I should have played this a lot more safe. Just pitched this up instead of trying to run this in any way. But we're trying a little Anheuser putt. I pull it over a lot, get a kick from the tree, and then it stands up and it starts to roll. Really, really unlucky ground play there. Hits a rock, which probably saved it from me having like a 100-footer coming uphill. Moving the rock. We have probably just outside the circle here. Yeah, I'd say just outside the circle, but uphill, a little bit of wind. I felt good about that out of my hand, but just stays up a little bit longer. And we start the second round with a bogey. So, not the worst thing to do, honestly, but now the bogey's out of the way. Let's go on to hole 3, our second hole of the day. Just want to keep myself loose on this one and make the adjustment from last round. Throwing the same Halo Esplin Emperor here. And boom. A lot smoother there. Still a little bit tense, but throw it dead straight. Gets a big skip up the hill, and we are left just outside the circle here. A longer putt, but we have a look at the birdie. This would be a great way to bounce back after the first hole of the round. Boom. It catches right side. I thought this was right out of the hand. It was a lot right, but it somehow catches on the right side. And we are back to even par. And now we're going into a set of holes that I know I can birdie. We throw a much better tee shot with my ESP zone here on hole 4. Still a little bit right. Need to get maybe a little bit of Anheuser on it. But this leaves us with a weird little putt where this tree is kind of leaning over into my arm path. So I'm really trying to focus on my release point here, and I leave it right, and it falls out. That one's completely on me. Really unfortunate. Just cannot be that hesitant with my putt right there and got to commit. But you can bounce back right here on hole 5, probably one of the shortest holes here. Throwing the same ESP zone forehand, and I do not pull it over this time. I throw a really, really good shot. This is just outside of the bullseye. You can hear Sean talking about how I threw a bad shot last round and I made the adjustment this round. That's dead center. Also, just after I threw, somebody aced hole 4, which was incredible. Yeah, really crazy. But going into hole 6, I want to throw my same Halo Esplin Scepter forehand, and I just pull it to the left. I mean, it had fine angles, and I did not understand why I pulled it over there. But now we're left with my first thought going up to this was a forehand, and that's what I play here. A little bit softed, but this works into the bullseye, and the ESP zone saves our par right there. So much better than the last round. Not 3-putting for a bogey, but going into hole 7, I changed my play here. Instead of going up the left side, I'm going to play a tiny flex with the ESP zone up the right, and just leave it with a little bit too much flatness, not enough Anheuser. It hits the little tree and it falls down here. So I'm left with probably a deep circle 2 putt here with some danger around the basket. There's OB left and behind. So you don't do what I do here, and that's leave it high and let it hyzer out. I stay in bounds somehow, and now we're putting for par. We do save par, but you cannot leave a putt like that. You got to give it a safe bid, or you really, really got to commit better than that. Hole 8, I want to play the same play that I did last round. Just want to throw it better. Zone, a little bit flat, or slight hyzer, and just let it fall into the basket. And that's essentially what I do here. Gets fantastic ground play. It hits, and it just barely moves. So we're left just outside the bullseye here. A really good shot. And now we are 2 under par, kind of on the same-ish pace that we were last round. So, going to hole 9, it would be really nice if I can start my birdie streak here, like I did last round. I'm going to throw the same ESP Luna, or not ESP Luna, but Luna. It's Jawbreaker Z-Flex. I thought this was good out of the hand, and then I realized that I completely juiced it, and wow. just way past the basket. Yeah, they go far. Yeah, Lunas do go far, but I had some trouble finding this. I found out that it's under these bleachers. So I had to get my foot under the bleacher. So I had to go to a straddle, which I did not want to do. And we're left about 80 feet here, so why not run it? Cash. And my buddy Chris told me on the tee that I would not make that putt, so I point him down after I make it. Just a little friendly rivalry there, but going into hole 10, now we're on a birdie streak. Just want to throw the same shot that I did last round, which was the Emperor forehand. Leave it high, but it does get through, and this hit right next to the basket, rolled a little bit to the left. I was excited about that, but exactly what I wanted. We're left with about 15 feet here. Did roll a little bit left, so I went up expecting a tap in. No, got a little bit of a putt, and we make it for 3 birdies in a row. And you can see behind the basket there, we have a 3-card backup going into hole 11. And yeah, I felt like I had to warm up again here because I was on the first of the box. But the most important thing that happened here is I went into this backup with a birdie streak and a good stretch of holes. So it gives me some confidence going into this hole 11, throwing the same Halo Espen Sphinx that I threw last round, just trying to throw the exact same shot that I did last round. Hyzer flip, I get a little bit more height. This was absolutely perfect. We were calling for it to ace, hit right next to the basket. The card was in complete disbelief that I did it again. And now we're just past the basket on, this is probably one of the best shots I've ever seen on this hole. You saw that little flicker right there? Chris covered my camera and gave me a little bit of bad luck. I miss it right, and I'm just not happy. Missed the comebacker that was about edge of circle. Yeah, just not happy that I 3-putts on a phenomenal drive. Just not what you want to do. So there goes the birdie streak. I thought I could have matched what I did last round with my birdie streak. Unfortunately, I cannot. Hole 12, just want to throw the same chariot downhill and pull it just a little bit. I thought this had a chance to get through on the right side. It fell down. So we can still probably get up and down here. And I get out of my comfort zone right here and try to throw a standstill zone backhand. This is just not a shot that I practice a lot. And I just completely pull it high and to the right. And just not something you want to do. I know it's something that I have to practice. And probably something that I needed at a course like this with a lot of shorter shots. But I still have a putt at it right here through a little gap on the left side. So I'm trying to line this up for a little pushy hyzer putt. This would be a great make to save par. And just not really any commitment. Leave it left and just not happy at all. Left with about, I'd say, 20-25 here. We need a good putt to not, get a 5. And this was one of the most committed putts I had all day. That was a really good putt. Too bad it was for bogey. But hole 13, good place to potentially get that stroke back. Just want to throw the same tune that I did last round. I soft this a little bit more, but leave it on a little bit more hyzer. So it does fight down this hill a little bit and leave me with about a 25-footer. But there's OB right behind this basket. So I need a confident look at this, confident bid right here to make sure I don't miss the basket. And another really good putt right there. We started a little joke right here about how I say no matter where my drive is, if it's inside essentially like 100 feet, I always say it's a putt. And we started making a joke about that, but I threw this on hole 14, my tomb, a lot better than I did last round, but this got lucky at the end. It hit a tree and left me just inside, or just in bounds, just behind this tree. I should have probably just thought a little bit longer on this putt. I should have pulled my shoulders back, but we miss about a edge of circle putt there uphill. Come back for par, and we make it. So finally, you get to see hole 15. It's a par 4, 488. There's a Mando tree that you see on the right side. You must be left of that. I can get big here. I have eagled it before. So I'm throwing my Esplin Pharaoh on a big hyzer flip, and I just leave this a little bit too nose up. Honestly, if it wasn't nose up, it would have probably went OB, but I get through that, and hyzer's out. Not the farthest shot I could have thrown, but it leaves us a long bid that I can give downhill. I'd say this is inside circle 3 somewhere. I don't know the exact range. I'd say about 90-ish. but throw the putt up outright. It has a chance. No, it just fell a little bit too late. Needed to leave that a little bit more to the left. That had a chance, but we get a birdie, which does not lose strokes to really anybody. So hole 16, I know this is a shot I can do, just regular 200-foot ESP zone shot. And now you get to view Chris's back for the next probably like 5 seconds. This was absolutely parked, but you get to see Chris's back.
That's so much better than last round.
It's a perfect picture of Chris's back, yeah.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. But yeah, tap in, birdie. Not bad at all. Hole 17, I really just want to make the adjustment of committing to this hyzer on the right side with my ESP zone. And that's exactly what I do here. Just pull it. I thought this was absolutely perfect. It hits just next to the basket, or it hits to the right of the basket, and then it goes OB behind. And I say it right here, I do not like the OB back there because I think it makes this hole, it does not connect to this hole well. Because it is a little reservoir, and then the rest of the stream is OB. But Quinn and I go OB in the same spot. I make my par putt. I'm pretty sure he made his par putt too. So, not the worst. I really would have wanted that birdie there to have a nice little turkey. But going into our second to last hole, hole 18, just want to throw a better shot than I did last round. That is my Luna. And I leave it a little bit lower and a little bit more hyzer, so it fights off that tree, stays in bounds, bounces off the fence. And we are exactly pin high for birdie. Here, it's probably like 10-ish feet. And there's another birdie. So now 6 down heading into the last hole. I know if I can get this birdie, I'll get a pretty good, decent, pretty good rated round. So throwing my S-Line P3X that I got as my player pack. Just going to throw a hyzer. Barely misses a tree. Absolutely parked. This ended up rating 965. I came 6th. Congrats to Lance. Congrats to Chris for what a round, man. But this was a really fun tournament. I putted okay. I threw well eventually. So, yeah,